Hey guys, Bill Seamantel, the BBZ TV, Plumbers Lodges. We're going to talk about in this series fishing equipment, gear, baggage, weight. We got a lot of stuff in this. So the coolest thing is when you go to a place like this, you want to take the stuff that you feel confident in catching fish. There's simple baits out there that you always want to carry. You want to carry the big flatfish, the big husky devil spoons, hair jigs, small meps and baits for the grayling, pike, swim baits, rat baits, top water. I mean, you want to set yourself up, but you don't want to overpack. I'm going to set it up. You could reach out to me at Bill at the BBZ TV or Plumbers Lodges and ask for their PDF guidebook on everything you need to know about plumbers. Destinations, how to get there, how to book trips, the equipment you need, the right clothing to bring, the gear, the weight, everything is in this PDF guide. So that's the first thing you want to do is get this guide, and like I said, reach out to us. We're going to go over some of my equipment that I take every year up to the Arctic Circle and how I pack it. Number one thing is I'm going to have a carry-on bag. It has to weigh less than 45 pounds. So I have this right here at 43.5 pounds. I'm going to show you what's packed into this and explain why I'm carrying it. There's safety features, there's fishing capabilities. We got all kinds of stuff. So we're going to open this bad boy up. And this is, like I said, this is going to be one of my checked baggage. So in this, I have some extra gloves and beanies and stuff in case you run into cold weather. I have camera gear that I'm setting up, so I'm going to do a lot of filming up there to try to do the right videos so you guys are able to go up to a bucket list trip up at Plumbers and have an enjoyable time. The other thing I got smacked in this thing is I have my fish finder mounts. We already have a video up for the graphs and the batteries and everything, but I have my graph set up in this system. That I have my transducer. I have everything set up for graphs. I've got my fish finder mounts that goes on the gunnel. So we have that taken care of. I have extra ladder straps that could always come in handy for safety out there. I got extra rods, filming rods and poles for filming for plumbers. But here comes the magic. We're going to put this over here. I went out and I got me a new Akuma boat bag. Now there's some pros and cons on boat bags, especially when you go up to the plumbers. Okay, so first thing is we're going to put this off to the side. We're going to lay this down here so we have more room to work with. And we're going to get this stuff out of the way. So you want a good boat bag. Akuma has a great line of bags out there. There's a lot of companies that have great boat bags. There's an issue that I found the last couple times I went out there is we put these in the boat, so we're out there on the water for a week, and sometimes you just leave them on the boat. You don't bring them in at night and stuff. So if it rains, if it gets wet and everything else, a lot of boat baits are not waterproof. They seep in from the bottom of the boat bags. So what I do, and this is just one of the tricks we do over here at the BBZ, on the bottom of most boat bags, you have this hard bottom, but it's very porous, so water can be absorbed in. So if it rains at night or you have a boat that's just got some water in it, it's going to leak through and soak into all your gear, which is not fun. So when I get a boat bag, I turn around, I get Flex Seal, I take my time, mask everything off, and I make a waterproof barrier on the bottom of my boat bag. This works when I'm out in the ocean, if I'm up in the Sierras fishing out of a rental boat, my own boats. It's just one of the tricks I use is a Flex Seal on the bottom of a boat bag. Secondly, with all the material, you want to get out and you want to make it semi-waterproof. Carbon Pro, I've been using this for the last few years. It works great on my shoes, some of my jackets that are getting older that are not waterproof as much. But I spray this all over the bag, multiple layers. I take a day or two to do this, and it helps protect the moisture barrier of getting anything wet inside here, because I'm going to carry all my equipment. I'll have cameras in here and everything else. So part one, that's the trick on how I take care of my Akuma boat bag. Now we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of what I'm carrying in the bag. So off the bat, we open up the top. We're going to open up the sides. So side components here, I have mounting brackets, I have a bag with tools, things you want to look at when you go up to the circle you're going to be fishing. If you're around pike or big trout, you want a good long nose set of pliers. I have a strap on it. I have braid cutters, I have hook sharpeners, and I also have some split ring pliers to take care of any situation if I need to change hooks out or split rings out on the water. And for emergency also, I have one of my old EMT scissors for cutting clothes. If you get hooked or something and it's through your clothes and you have to cut some clothes off to get to it, stuff happens, guys. You just have to be prepared. And the more prepared you are when you're out by yourself on these lakes, you know, the safer you're going to be. So that's one of the compartments here. Let's go in the front. In the front, I have some extra lines and I have some extra blow-up pads for your boat. So boat pads for your seats. Also, what I'll do is I'll use these pads and I'll wrap them around rods and blow them up as a cushion for a rod barrier inside the tubes and stuff. So I always carry a couple extra boat bags or seat bags, floatable seat bags with me. The other side, let's see what we got over here. We got all kinds of stuff. I got some extra line cutters for snipping mono, fluorocarbon, or braid. So we'll have that tied up in the boat. And then we go into the bag. So have my electronics. So I have my brand new Lowrance. Like I said, there's a video that talks about all the Lowrance we're taking and how to do it. So I have my graph with me right in my boat bag. So that one is money and taken care of. Then, let's see, we got some more seats. These are blow-up seats that, like I said, if you don't have the right cushions in your boat for extended time on the water for like 20 hours, you blow these things up. And also they're a really good backup for you for all kinds of stuff. You could use this as a pillow, a seat. You could wrap rods with it. You could wrap stuff to protect it. So I have a couple of these. We're going to go into our leader line. So what we have for all the boats, I'm taking up extra leader line, is I'm taking 30 to 40 pound test soft steel floral stretch. This line is incredible, guys. It stretches like mono. It's invisible at fluorocarbon. Soft steel did an unbelievable job with this. I've used this before, especially ocean fishing. So if you do have big fish hit, you don't have that shock absorbing situation with just straight fluoro. You got a little bit of give, and especially big lake trout, man, they like to roll. So this is going to be softer on their gill plates and stuff, so you don't cut or nick any gills. We want to make sure we catch these big fish and release them so you guys can catch them the next time. So that is one big deal. And then we're going to go into our boxes. So box number one, here's baits that you want to think of. We have fish grippers. We have the right heavy duty pike jaw spreaders. We have wire leader for pike. So if we go back in there, and I have enough gear for the whole team to go up there. I have the right split swivels, snap swivels, hooks, everything set up. One of my favorite tools to use up at Arctic Circle Lodge is a Husky double. We've had many videos out there on the market that shows how to rig up a system that you're not going to get any line twist. The trout aren't going to have any issues at all spinning and flipping around. We're going to do a little something different this year with trailers to increase that size and profile for the bigger lake trout. And the cool thing about a big Husky Devil spoon, from slow rolling it on the surface, casting, or letting this drop out into deep water, you can fish this at multiple levels. So that's the beauty of a spoon, is this thing just catches fish at all levels within the water column. So that's our number one bait. I have a handful of supplies. Remember, guys, if you go up to Plummer's at their main lodges, when you get there, they have all the right baits. You can actually pick them up there. If you don't want to carry the extra weight with you, you can go there and pick them up at the lodge and use them right on the water. So that's part one. And also I carry full sets of hooks. So I love the Gamakatsu Big River hook. I've been using this for years. This is my number one big fish hook out there, period. You gotta love them. Remember, any hook out there that you use it in the Northwest Territory, the barb needs to be smashed down. You have to have it barbless. So Spoons are number one. They're right at the top of my list for catching big fish. We're going to go into box number two. Box number two is a little combination of stuff. T60 flatfish guys. If you go up there, if you're going with the guide, they're going to have a lot of these baits. You're going to be dialed. You don't have to worry about it. Since we're self-guiding at the Arctic Circle Outpost, you got to take your own baits. So you want to make sure you have the right type of baits for different situations you run into. So if I want to use the 9-foot SST rod from Akuma, and I want to downrigger this with a 4 to 6 ounce ball weight, 3-way rig, I can get this down there in really deep depths. Barb's already smashed, but good flat fishes in chartreuse, chrome, green. Basically what happens is after you catch a few of them, they're going to rip all the paint off of them anyways, so this one's been chewed. So you have your flat fishes. Everybody who knows, I designed the Tiger Tube way back in the day. These still are very valuable baits. You could use them with the ball head inside of them. I could drop shot these. I could put a stinger or trailer on the back. I could almost inline this and troll this through the water column, which I have before. So good sets of tubes. And then I have miscellaneous stuff in here. I have some packs for small baits. I have small spinners and little jig tubes for grayling in here. I carry a net. You can go up there and you can go in a back bay, and the mosquitoes are so big they taste like T-bone steaks when they go down your throat. But I carry a bug net with me if you ever run into that situation, which you want to think about, so you always want to be prepared. And then I carry extra bolts, nuts, and electronical gear for anything on the water that I need to fix if you run into a situation. So that's part two. This is very condensed. This is after going up there for multiple years of things to think about and what you need to take to be safe on the water but catch big fish. And here comes the big box. This thing has all kinds of stuff in it for on the water. So what I have is I have the Fish Lab BBZ 6-inch gizzard shad. I have a couple of them. These are going to be, the barbs are smashed down for the pike. I catch big lake trout on it. I'm taking this year's BBZ BioBlade Fish Lab Topwater Frog Buzzbait. I've added a wire guard to it. I'm going to catch me a big pike on that sucker. I have our last year's model from Fish Lab, the rat, double plopper rat. But here's some of the things I have in this box that's important. Extra pair of glasses. I have super glue. These are brand new bottles that are sealed. Super glue does a lot. Fix rod components. You could fix a bunch of broken things, but also it's safety. As long as it's not broke, it's a clean super glue. So this works really good on any type of cuts. If you got cut by a fish or line or something like that, you can cover that up so it doesn't get infected. So I always take about 5 or 6 little packs of super glue and I put them in Ziploc bags in case one pops during, high pressure being in the plane. I have that. Safety wise, you always take some lighters with you. If you ever break down on the water up at Plummer's, you're able to start a fire. You could do heat shrink on rod tubing to fix rod tips. It's always a good situation to have some lighters with you. Extra pair of glasses. If you ever do catch a monster lake trout and you want to get an IGFA reading and stuff, I have measuring tools, I got my rulers, and I have my scales that are certified. The biggest thing on this, if you guys catch a monster fish at Plummer's and you want it certified, make sure you have to be on the land. You cannot weigh a fish in a boat to get an accurate weight. You have to go on the shore, keep the fish in the net, go up the shore, weigh it standing on level ground, and get your measurements and your readings for it to count for any type of record situation. I got some pliers. I got some big zip ties. You can always use zip ties if something happens. I got rescue tape. So if you have leaks with your fuel lines for your boat, any water piping, anything like this electric tape comes in handy. I've got athletic tape in case you get cuts, nicks on your fingers. I've got extra batteries. I got some electrical tape. I got small zip ties. If you ever go out there and you're with one of the big nets, A small hole like this, I've had 25-pound fish get through a hole like that. So the zip ties, I have a handful of them, and then I have multi-tools in case I need to work on anything in the boat. I also carry an extra boat plug, so in case something happens in the boat and you start having a leak with the boat, I have a boat plug here. I carry a spare one. We've used this before. Glasses. We actually have some lipstick, some sunscreen, and also I carry floss. If you ever had to wrap something with floss and touch it with super glue, you can make like fixes on equipment and stuff. So that's old school stuff. So guys, this is what I carry. This is just going to be for my equipment for my boat bag. We talked about rods already. We talked about electronics and batteries on how to get them on the plane. But again, like I said, make sure you check out the PDF on the guide to go to Plummer's Lodges. Reach out to us. We have a lot of information. The clothes is simple. Layer. I went with a light rain suit. Everything of mine, I love APCO, but APCO, my big rain suit for APCO is super, super heavy, and it increases that weight for your luggage. So I want to go to the lighter shelled APCO rain gear. You want to look at layering APCO, the light tees, the hoodies, the buffs, gloves, and make sure you wear layers. You got to have layers. It's going to be super hot this year for us, in the 70s and 80s up there. But we've been there before where it's been super cold and rainy and cloudy all day long. So be prepared on that. But I hope this helps you, and it's at least a guide that you could reach out to us, either me at thebbz.com or plummerslodges.com, to get more information on your next trip. Make sure you guys sign up, get on the list, get there next year. I want to see you guys up there fishing with us up at Plumbers. Hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll catch you next time out on the water.